Well, hey everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for Thursday, the 8th of July, 2021. Well, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune. We take a look at a rune from the Elder Futhark, and then we discover one from Geomancy, which is a more earth-based divination type of a system. And then once we pull those, we I pull basically 5 cards. The first 3 have to do with influences. The last 2, the first one there has to. The first one is the challenge card, so the 4th card is the challenge card, and then the 5th card is what benefits. And so we just see how the cards align with the runes, and usually they align pretty well. Now, we try to tie Thursday's reading into Monday's reading if we can. We had Hagalaz, that's destruction or transformation within a fixed framework. And then Laetitia was the geomancy rune, so joy and fulfillment and happiness. And so transforming something or other, we don't know yet what that is, in a fixed framework to achieve emotional fulfillment. And then the cards, we drew the Two of Pentacles, so that pretty much defined where the rest of this was going with the Two of Pentacles. That involved a decision regarding material security that was affecting you emotionally. The Four of Cups was next, which I interpreted as hanging on to emotions that don't serve you, not really willing to examine anything else. And then also new emotional genesis is necessary with the Ace of Cups. So it tells us that something, perception wise, emotion wise, something that is subjective, has to shift, has to transform in order that you feel emotionally fulfilled. Sometimes it's our circumstances that leave us feeling, less than fulfilled. But then, sometimes it's our own perceptions. We put ourselves in this little box, and if things don't fit in that box with it, then we're not happy, right? So that's kind of what I think that this was talking about. And then the challenge card was the King of Wands. Exercise some will to move past that which no longer serves. And then the benefit card was the Nine of Swords, where we're letting go of perceptions. So I really think that in order that we are happy, I think that something within our perceptions needed to shift. And so we'll see if that's happened. Maybe we've turned a corner here today and we're going to look at something else, or maybe it's going to give us a little more information about that. So let's go ahead and take the rune from the Elder Futhark back and see what that's going to be today. Our pollen is high again today. Thurzaz. So again, this is a breaking through obstacles kind of a rune. Looks like a thorn. It's Thor's rune. Looks like his hammer as well. The power of Thor's hammer to break through obstacles, and it's also protection. It's also healing. So let's take a look at our geomancy runes. I'm going to throw down the 4 elemental initial geomancy runes, and then we put those in the order of air, fire, water, or rather fire, air, water, and earth. Well, this is Caput Draconis, so this is new beginnings. Now, Caput Draconis, you've got Caput and Kata, and Caput is the north node of the moon. It's governed by the north node of the moon, so you're talking about the future. So new beginnings, are on the threshold of something new beginning. And it could really mean anything. So if we're talking about breaking through emotions that no longer serve us so that we can be happy, maybe we're still doing that. Maybe this is, in doing so, we're discovering that some doors are opening up, maybe, and that's what the Caput Draconis is bringing in. But we still need to maybe move past some things. So let's go ahead and look at the cards, and we'll see. The cards are going to tell us whether or not this is a continuation of Monday's work we were doing or not. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what that's involved. We'll just shuffle a little bit more. All right, let's go ahead and take our first card. So here we have the Knight of Swords. Knights are usually on a quest. Swords is the air element, so it's intellect, it's justice, it's reason, it's balance, interaction, communication. So in a sense, you know, he can be going back and doing something like giving a message or something, but that's typically the page. Here you're talking about somebody that is courageous, who's got integrity, that accepts challenges. And so basically that's what it's suggesting that we do, especially with Thurazaz here, the room where we're breaking through something, breaking through difficulties or obstacles. It looks like there's going to be some kind of a obstacle intellectually anyway, maybe communication wise, where you're having to break through something today. He's heading toward, if you want to look at directionality, in a sense, he's heading toward the past. So this is taking care of something from the past, maybe, that you need to do with. In other words, it's a challenge, but it's something that's going to have to be faced with integrity, or the solution for it is going to have to have integrity. So it can't be something that is serving only you in that regard, although it could, but at least the concept of it is greater than just you. If it's just you, well, then it's because, say, it's like a legal decision that goes in your favor, something like that. It would be that type of a focus on you. Let's see what the next card is. Well, again, swift action, swift directional movement, protection. So I don't know that this has anything to do with Monday's reading. It seems like something, if Thurazaz is not breaking through something or breaking through obstacles, then there's something that needs protecting. When you have 8 wands coming in, wands is the fire element. And you're talking about leadership with 8. You're talking about the spiritual warrior. Let's see, material achievement. So there could be something with respect to your material security, again, like on Monday, that needs to be dealt with swiftly and directly, like move now. That's the kind of energy this is. You can see it with in the Thoth Tarot. With the 8 of swords, that not the 8 of swords, I'm sorry, the 8 of wands rather. You're seeing basically that's the message behind that, and it's instant explosive energy. So move now. So something is happening you need to protect yourself on today. It must be something new. If you're looking at Caput Draconis, then it might be something that's out of the blue that you're unprepared for, and you need to deal with something right now. And you don't want to compromise your own values in the process. Yeah, we have the 7 of Pentacles. This is taking stock of what you have. And this could be what's at risk here. So, I mean, it could be something legal that's happening in your life, that you need to protect yourself and all that you have. You need to stand up for what you believe. Maybe it's not material possessions as much as it is your whole legacy, or your whole tradition, or whatever it is that you need to protect here. But clearly something needs protecting today. Either you're starting something new and that's what needs protection, but I just don't think so. I don't think so. I think that this does not have anything to do with Monday's reading. That's what I think. I think that something is coming up in your life and you need to deal with it right now, whatever it is. And it's something that's new, that maybe you're unaccustomed to dealing with. That's the influence of Caput Draconis here. The challenge card is another knight. This is the Knight of Wands. This again is he's protective. This is about action. Now this is typically read as a spiritual quest because you see the three pyramids there. So this is a quest to the Holy Land. Knights Templar were famous for that. They were always on a quest to the Holy Land. I'm related to a bunch of Knights Templar, and Robert the Bruce, I'm related to him. And when he died, I think he was killed in battle. Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. I do my ancestry, but the ancestry, once you get back into, that time frame, everything is so vast. And it's like, okay, who did what? And if you get to somebody through different lines, sometimes they can be a great grandparent, sometimes they can be a great aunt or uncle, or sometimes they can be a cousin so many times removed, right? And so I have some people that I get to all three different ways. And so it's like, okay, in this one, he's my grandfather, or this one, she's my grandmother, but here she's my aunt. So it anyway. But Robert the Bruce is, I think, an uncle, maybe a great uncle. And the guy that was the Knights Templar that carried his heart to Jerusalem, to the Holy Land, he was also a relative. And so it's like the knights come up. It's like, oh, okay. Hey, you. But anyway, your knights are passionate. They're on a quest. They're courageous. They're protective. They're usually doing something on behalf of. So with two knights here, one as the challenge card and one to get us started with, there may be somebody there. If we look at this in terms of not just the qualities, if we look in terms of an individual, there could be somebody or a couple of somebodies that maybe help you through whatever's happening today. And the challenge will be to allow them to do that. Sometimes when we're feeling overwhelmed, we just, and things are coming in on us, we don't necessarily want anybody to help us. It's like help is there, and it's like, no, leave me alone. I can do this, But maybe this is a date that's challenging you to allow someone else to give you some advice. You say with the Knight of Swords, maybe he brings advice, and the Knight of Wands, maybe he brings a new creative solution. So you see the difference there between swords and the air element, and wands and the fire element. We're dealing with, again, intellectual things with the suit of swords, and creative will-oriented kinds of stuff with wands. And with the knights, these are passionate individuals. They're on a quest to assist people, or at least on behalf of the king, one of the two. But the challenge, I think, when somebody like this comes into your experience, is to either have the courage yourself to step outside your comfort zone and take, and protect yourself maybe in a way that's not normal for you. Again, Kappa Draconis could be influencing the challenge card as well. And then let me take the 13th card for the benefit. I probably ought to take the 13th card for the challenge as well. Well, here we have the Chariot. Now, this is knowing when to take the reins and when to allow. So when to control and when to allow. Resistance versus non-resistance. Here we have the king and his chariot. It's at rest. You see his two little critters down there. Now, that's polarity represented by the black and white sphinx. They are, he does not have his hands on the reins, and they're at rest, basically. So this is a pretty complex card. This is a card of balance. You see the winged sun of healing the polarity within, healing the need within to act when maybe you can just sit back and observe and let things settle out on their own. But here you have the dreidel on the shield here, taken together. This is healing and balance. You've achieved that. You see the two, towers, if you will, two structures maybe. And the king sits between the two of them. Again, he's not holding on to any reins. You see water element represented here by Maiden Mother Crone, the center part of his collar right there. We'll call that the mother phase of the moon, and we see two moons, two slivers of moons. one on each shoulder. We see the stars above. This is representative of heaven or spirit. This is spiritual mastery in some respects, because you don't feel the need to necessarily involve yourself. You can just sit back and watch and let things come to rest. In a sense, that's what he's doing here. Another 7 card is taking stock, seeing where he is, seeing what matters to him here, perhaps. And again, this could be material possessions. This is his harvest he's taking into account. So it could be material possessions that are at risk today. And it just feels like a lot's coming in on you, maybe, and a creative solution is going to be necessary, and that's challenging. It may involve allowing, somebody else's input, to come in and say, who maybe has a little more experience and says, you know what, I'm going to advise you to do this, and that's going to be the Knight of Swords, and then the Knight of Wands. The challenge is the creative solution that comes from all that. Are you willing to explore that in a way where maybe the choice is to do nothing at all and just observe and gather more information. But except for the fact that we have the 8 of Wands, which is move now, it's saying, but then on the other hand, that could just say, pay attention. This is important. This is important, what we need to do here. Now, if we are taking it into account, the first reading on Monday, if this is involving emotional fulfillment, which it could just mean that we're bringing someone else into that experience now and having somebody else help us, because this is a situation that's cropped up that's new. We're not sure how to deal with it. We need to take stock of all that we possess, all that we have, all of our strengths. In other words, what are the strengths involved in this whole thing? What do we possess inside to help us move forward in a way that makes sense, that protects whatever we've built so far? Maybe this, again, we're protecting whatever we were dealing with on Monday, and whatever changes that we made, we're trying to reinforce them. So we're trying to figure out, do we get in the way of it by taking action, or do we stand back and observe it and see how things settle out? There's that factor here as well. And sometimes with Thurisaz, if we're talking, because to me that's a rune of strength as well, the strength to take advice from someone else. We have this idea, some of us do anyway, that we have to go it alone all the time, and that we have to come up with our own creative solutions and not ask for help and not ask for input from other people. But that's not what the world is based on. And so I think when we really restrict our own movement that way, we're not doing ourselves any good. And the Chariot may be suggesting that as well, that knowing when to act versus when to just sit back and watch, that's half the battle right there, because you're either going to act or you're not. And so if you're not, then you're done. Your work's done. You're just observing at that point, right? You're not having to make any decisions yet. But I have to wonder, is this a break from Monday? It could be. So if this resonates for you, in terms of letting go of perceptions that were keeping you emotionally unfulfilled, because a decision had to be made on Monday, right? Where we're doing that, where we saw the juggler juggling 2 coins with an ocean behind that's very, very, wavy, and you see a couple of ships on there. And so, the emotional upheaval is still there. Whatever decision you had to make, was affecting you emotionally. Now, whether or not, and it just seemed like the rest of the reading was leading us into the direction of your own perceptions interfering with whatever this is, and you can't let go of it. And then finally in the 9 of Swords, you let go of the perceptions, that you lined them all up, you looked at them, and you said, you know what, enough is enough. And so then you let go of those, you put them all in order, you saw what you needed to take with you and the things you needed to leave behind, and you did that. And in doing so, you may have felt a little more emotionally secure about the decision you need to make, right? Perception was getting in the way of that. Well, again, maybe today you're still in the process of it and you need to invite someone else in. Someone else appears, where maybe they can, or someone says, hey, why don't you call so and so? They might have an idea of what to do about this. Maybe you have a dilemma at your house and you need to hire somebody, right? So maybe you get some guidance there of go and hire these people to come in and deal with what you're dealing with. They can take care of this for you. It could be something as simple as that, but letting somebody else in to either give you advice or to provide the solution, that's oftentimes very tough for people. Either they don't have the money or it's not in their mindset. They think that they're supposed to just fix it all on their own. My husband's kind of one of those guys where he just feels like he should have, and regrettably and not regrettably, he kind of does. He kind of has the skills to do this stuff. Pretty much everything it's very rare that we have to call somebody in, to do anything here. A plumber maybe now and then, that if they're having to snake the drain, or the pipe or something like that, or we had to get a new heat pump, and that involved hiring people, right? So it's not that he won't, it's just that he feels like he can do it all himself. And so for him, something like this, where it's like, we have to move now, we have to decide something now, something is impacting us now, and that needs to be dealt with, for him, it takes me saying, okay, I'm calling somebody, oftentimes it'll take that, but it's like, he's fine with it. It's just, he needs that extra, little push to be okay with it, right? So it could be something like that. It's just like, oh Lord, what's going to happen at our house today now? That I have to convince my husband we have to go hire somebody to deal with. We already have something like that going on, and they're doing a little bait and switch on us, and we're just like, oh, okay, we're not even gonna respond to you now that we know what game you're playing. This is so unexpected, right? So we won't be, hiring them to do what we were going to hire them to do, right? Because they're being stupid about it. And in other words, it's like when you say to somebody, oh, you're going to be that guy? Really? You're going to be that guy? Yeah, it's one of those moments. And it's not the end of the world, but it's one of those moments that's disappointing because now you know who someone is. Okay? That's which then reinforces someone like my husband's decision to do it all himself, right? It's like, well, I should have done this and I could have done it myself. Like, no. So again, it's sort of self-reinforcing, I think, that attitude. But I think today, just go ahead, and if you want to, if it makes sense to you to hook it to Monday's reading, then do that. If not, then something's about to happen today that maybe you're unaccustomed to dealing with, and just pay attention to that and ask for help. It's likely there for you. And see how it goes, I don't know. Let's see. Now, on Sunday, we're coming back for Esoteric Influences and Magical Influences. We do that for the week. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, you'll get that whole thing in your inbox. And I'm not sure when I'm going to send it out. I might send it out tomorrow night instead of Saturday night. I've got something I'm doing on Saturday, so I will likely be home in time to send it out, but if I feel like I'm not, then it might go out on Fridays. So on Friday night. So, or maybe early Saturday morning or something. But in any event, I'll figure it out though. I might just go ahead and do it Saturday night. But then Sunday will be the video for it. And then Monday we come back together for, again, Monday's edition of Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune. Now, if you're a Patreon member, thank you. If you want to join, it's $1 a month or $12 a year. There's links below the video to wherever I am and all that. So anyhow, the magical forecast, or rather the correspondences rather for the week, for each day, Monday through Friday, go up. I usually do a little video for that. And then let's see what else. The esoteric forecast goes up at medium Monday through Friday. And then on the blog, the main forecast, just called the forecast, which has everything in it. It's the huge one. That's Monday through Friday over on the blog at Stepping Aside. So that's where all that stuff is. Check all of it out. I'd love you to do that. And again, click subscribe here. That'd be awesome. And give it a like as well. Evidently, Google's algorithm likes that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's like all this stuff you got to do. It's just like, I just want to watch the video, right? Yeah. But if you do that, that'd be very cool. So anyhow, thanks for watching. And, we'll see you again, hopefully on Sunday at that with esoteric and magical influences. And if not, we'll see you on Monday for another edition of Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune. So be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.